Hello, we are in another week. We're starting lesson 7. A few things I want to talk to you about is the topic itself is information literacy and academic resources, as you can see here on my screen. And at first, this may not seem super interesting or exciting. And sometimes you think, oh, how am I going to relate to that? But as you get to know this material this week, I think you'll find some interesting things that you learn about finding credible sources when you're trying to do research, and this is an important thing to have for future classes. A lot of classes you have to do research papers, and so having little bits of these helps and information are going to save you a ton. I wish I would have had this this week's lessons, before I did my master's program, because we did a ton of research. There's a lot of things that I had to learn as I go, and I spent a lot of time that could have been saved if I knew some of these tips and tricks. So one thing, it talks about how to locate, evaluate, and determine if the sources that you're using are credible. And so you're going to watch a couple videos. One's effective search strategies. I hope you really watch this and see if there's something new that you did not know about using search tools. There are a lot of strategies out there that I now even use when I'm doing any kind of search, even if it's not for a research paper, that it's very helpful to find the information that I want and narrow it down to be specific. And you're going to watch another one to talk about how you can tell if a resource is scholarly. And so I really hope that you'll listen carefully and take good notes, because I promise you'll come back to using these strategies as you approach research papers in future classes. There's also an academic support center that you're going to learn about that you may not know even existed, that is a wonderful resource. Something else I want to talk about is the application activity. Okay, this week you're going to pick an article from this website, Des News, from DeseretNews.com. And one thing you need to make sure that I have a lot of students do incorrectly is it needs to be a topic. See, step 1, choose a topic discussed in an earlier lesson from this course. So make sure that it's related to one of the past things that we've done. It could be something on disciple leadership, lifelong learning, any of these things that we've done up to this point. So make sure that that's one of the topics you're picking. So not just information about a science topic that I'm curious about, or learning more about our efforts to get out in space to Mars, whatever it may be. It needs to be a topic that's been discussed in an earlier lesson. So that's sometimes where I have students do this assignment incorrectly. So you'll search for it in that resource, and then this next step 4 is very important to make sure this is in your own words. It emphasizes that a couple times, that it's plagiarism if you're just copying and pasting pieces of the article to create a summary. So make sure that you're writing a summary in your own words about the article, and then answer other questions that follow in this application activity. So if you do that, you'll be great. The last thing is with your learning report this week, it's going to ask you to report on the activity you had to do last week, where you listed the 3 things you needed to get done the night before each day for 4 consecutive days. So take the time to go into the learning report and let us know how that has gone. And I would recommend doing that before Saturday night, so that you have it prepared and ready for the due date, the due time. So those are the things we're learning this week. Just one general feedback is keep doing great things. The discussion boards, I love reading through those and learning different things from all different perspectives. I think it's very valuable to hear the numerous years that we all have of wisdom, and many of you have such great experiences that you can share with us. And try to make those more than a sentence or two to really deepen the conversation. Ask questions, and feel free to incorporate quotes or talks or scripture that you find related to a post someone provides, even links to a talk. And I think as we really make the effort to make that a great board, that we can get the most out of it. And so I'll be watching for that as I grade. And if you have questions on how to do that effectively, let me know. And I think if we all just do our best, that we'll all learn as much as we possibly can. So have a wonderful week, and we'll check back in a week and with my video. And I hope you are learning a lot. And now that we're into the semester quite a bit, I hope it's feeling a lot more comfortable, and that you're learning, and that you see growth in yourself. That's what I think is very important. So I appreciate all of you, and I will check in with you in a week. Bye.